SmackDown is by far the best wrestling show right now. Friendship ended with Raw, now SmackDown is my best friend. Bryan lost against Roman Reigns, and now he must leave SmackDown. But don't you worry, Bryan. I've heard about this nice place called Raw, and I'm pretty sure you're welcome right here. I hope you like 6-man tag team matches. I also absolutely loved Roman Reigns' new theme song. That's some Goku Ultra instant crap. Don't ever take a belt of this man. Yes, no! Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Greatness of SmackDown. When I say Greatness of SmackDown, I'm not ashamed to say it. When I say Greatness of Raw, it sounds like a parody because this show, I like it, it's not long. And maybe this particular show was a one-match show, I get it, but the match itself was a pay-per-view level match with high stakes, championship on the line, Bryan's career on SmackDown on the line, and it absolutely delivered. Before I talk about SmackDown, I quickly want to talk about this AEW thing. Basically, they started copyright striking more channels, giving their claims and stuff. Maybe this one in particular was a mistake, but my point is still valid because they're copyrighting videos that are under fair use. For someone who's making videos outside of wrestling, I know how ridiculous this is. You can literally make reviews about movies. No matter how good or bad the movie is, it's legal to review a movie with copyrighted material because it's under fair use. So when I called out AEW, I got very disappointed in them and mostly in wrestling fans because, it doesn't really affect me at all. I'm not even making AEW content. All of my AEW videos are deleted. If you search AEW on my channel, you can't find a single video. But, I just try to do something that's right. I saw AEW abusing the copyright system, and I don't want other YouTubers to get hurt because of this. And it's crazy that the response was shocking in a way. Like, instead of people understanding what I'm talking about and Googling what fair use is, people started calling me names, talking about my appearance. Just weird shit, I didn't want to try to be a dick. I just didn't want to see smaller or even bigger YouTube channels getting striked and possibly removed, getting their money taken because of AEW's copyright abuse. I'm aware that my viewers know what I'm talking about and most of you probably understand, but these AEW fans, like these hardcore fanboys, I'll try to put it simply, they're f***ing insane. SmackDown, great show. Loved it. Let's talk about it. I love the fact that WWE tried to make it as special as possible, because not only did they advertise the crap out of this match, they also had many superstars basically making their predictions because it's a big deal. Not only the Universal Championship is on the line, Bryan's SmackDown career as well. We saw Bianca Belair and she welcomes us to SmackDown. She was about to say something, but she got interrupted by Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Ziggler says, if we're gonna kick off SmackDown, we're gonna do it the right way with Ziggler and Roode. They got interrupted by the Street Profits, and this was pretty goofy, I'll admit, and I'm pretty sure you can predict what happened right here. Yes, you guessed it. A 6-man tag team match. A 6-person tag team match. We got a mixed 6-man tag team match, Bianca Belair and the Street Profits versus Dolph Ziggler, Roode, and Bayley, which, wasn't bad, but, it felt kinda random to me. I don't know what was the whole point of this. Bianca Belair, I wouldn't say is a bad champion because I can't tell yet, but it seems like they're not really focusing on her championship yet, even though we know that Bayley is gonna face Bianca Belair for the title at the pay-per-view. It really does feel like a filler. So after a pretty enjoyable match, the Street Profits and Bianca Belair won. What's also interesting is that I thought we were gonna get Cesaro versus Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view, but it seems like Cesaro is actually going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash because Seth Rollins is facing Cesaro next week on SmackDown, so it's pretty obvious that Cesaro is facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash, which is pretty decent. I'm sure the match itself is going to be absolutely fantastic, and it's quite predictable, but at this point, how can you make a Roman Reigns match unpredictable? And at this point, I have no problem with that. We saw Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Tamina Snuka and Natalya. Every time I see these four women in the ring, I'm just, man, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I am not enjoying it one bit. Natalya and Tamina Snuka won, and we're getting closer and closer to Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler. I'm pretty sure Tamina and Natalya are gonna win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, so we can have Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax. And like I've said many times before, I hope this happens because Shayna Baszler needs to be in the main event women's division. They really wasted her, and she really had that main event feel. Aleister Black was telling stories again, and like I've said, they're not bad. Like, the delivery is amazing, but it's not for my taste. I never really liked Bray Wyatt's 2014 promos as well, because he's talking nonsense. Delivery is great, but it achieves absolutely nothing because it has nothing to do with wrestling. Then we saw the WWE Intercontinental title match, Big E versus Apollo Crews. This was a WrestleMania rematch, and a pretty okay one, but if I'm being honest, I'm kinda sick of this rivalry. It's not bad by any means. I just feel like there's not a lot more to tell. But not everything is bad with it, I'll explain in a second. So basically, Aziz interfered, so Big E won the match by disqualification, meaning that Apollo keeps his championship. After the match, we saw Kevin Owens, we saw Sami Zayn. All of these people want the Intercontinental Championship. They even teased Sami Zayn with the Intercontinental Championship, and I really hope this happens one day again. I loved Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental Champion. I think Sami Zayn is the most entertaining person on SmackDown outside of Roman Reigns maybe, but these gimmicks are so different you can't really compare. The Intercontinental Championship division is looking really nice, and like I told you in my previous video, WWE almost nailed every single division. And of course, we saw a career versus title match, Daniel Bryan versus Universal Champion Roman Reigns, and this match was just as expected, a pay-per-view level match. I loved so many spots, my favorites being, Roman Reigns trying to do a spear, Daniel Bryan catching him, the running knee for a 2 count, Daniel Bryan also kicked out of a spear, and of course Daniel Bryan never tapped out, he passed out, he tried his best, but he couldn't beat the tribal forehead. It's really hard to tell a difference between me and Roman Reigns. First of all, the physique. Like, if you couldn't see my head, could you tell it's not Roman Reigns? So Roman Reigns defeats Daniel Bryan, he gets 2 chairs, and he tried to end his career. Well, we got Cesaro, things were looking nice for a second, but then we saw Uso, Cesaro got stuck between the ropes, and we got the chair spot. So basically, Daniel Bryan is no more. I'm pretty sure he's going to the hospital or Raw. I would choose number 1 if I was Daniel Bryan, honestly. I don't know what it means. There are rumors that Daniel Bryan is leaving the WWE. He wants to wrestle elsewhere, and I really hope this doesn't happen. I want to see Daniel Bryan in the WWE, but it's not my choice. The most likely scenario is Daniel Bryan going to Raw, but knowing Bryan, he probably wants to go to NXT, which is pretty possible. I would not want to see that. That's just my take on it, and I don't want to see him on Raw, but maybe Raw needs Daniel Bryan because Raw is very, very bad. Raw be bad. Raw is a bad show, almost unwatchable. Raw be bad. Raw be bad. I don't know. There's nothing else to say about Raw. It'd be bad. Oh, and by the way, Roman Reigns' new theme song is absolutely amazing. Just Ultra Instinct Goku vibes, and this final boss, end of a movie where we have explosions and the main character is walking slowly. I love this. A very good theme song. Jim Johnson is always gonna be the GOAT, but that's one of these rare scenarios where we actually got a good theme song that maybe sounds just a bit too generic, but at the same time, it's all we need. Let me know your prediction in the comments below. What's gonna happen with Daniel Bryan right now? Is he gonna stay on SmackDown somehow? Or is he going to Raw? Or basically leaving the WWE? The ending of this show, the chair shot, makes me believe maybe Daniel Bryan is just done, which is a possibility. So yes, this show was still a one-match show, I understand, but the match itself felt like a pay-per-view, so I was enjoying the show. So thank you for watching the video. You know what to do to acknowledge me as your tribal forehead. All you need to do is click that like button, subscribe if you didn't, and click that notification button. Forehead of the table, peace, love, and hugs, acknowledge me.